Can you talk about some of the back end systems and that you had to put in place to really help you to be able to grow beyond a solopreneur into the bankable CEO that you are with a team?
Yeah. And honestly, it was things that I wasn't ever thinking about. Little small things like payroll setup and time card setup. Things I wasn't thinking about that I had to put together. Policies and procedures now. I had to put a whole manual together. Hadn't written one of those in a while. So, it definitely was a lot of administrative setup that we had to do on the back end. I hired an admin to certainly help me because a lot of this, I could have somebody help me with. But I would say what I learned growing very quickly is having a good HR system set up. I don't necessarily mean you need to hire an HR person, but just having good HR policies and practices set up so you've got procedures established for how you're going to pay your team members, how you're going to grow, how you're going to invoice your clients. You don't want to be winging it. So get all of that in writing, think through the practices and the cycle of the billing so you can make sure you iron out all the details. And my best piece of advice to everyone always is make sure you stay on top of your billing because that's money coming in for you. And if you're not staying on top of your billing, you're potentially losing out on money and getting in that money in on a timely basis.
That's good. I wanted to circle back on your mission because all of the answers that you're giving here today, everything that you're telling us, these nuggets that you're providing, is a way to properly position your business for impact. And so
Absolutely.
you decided early on that this was not just a business, this was your ministry that you were called to and that you were going to use it for impact. And in order to use your business or anything but for business for impact, you really have to focus on those foundational and structural systems to make sure that you are set up on a strong foundation that is going to position you to make the impact that you want to make, to reach the people that you want and need to be able to reach. One of the questions that I have for you is not necessarily about the business and the structuring piece, but I wanted to go back to the people that you serve and
Okay.
knowing your audience, right? And being so mission driven, what are some of the misunderstandings or misconceptions about the homeless populations that you serve? Because I know there's a lot of misconceptions out there, and these are things that you have to overcome in your business to be able to serve the population.
Yes, yes. So we call them myths, right? The Section 8 myths that we see.
Yeah.
There's several of them. One of the top ones is that everyone who's homeless is on drugs. That is absolutely not the case. There are families, individuals who lost their job last week and don't have a place to live. We've seen people with bachelor's degrees on the streets. People come from all walks of life, so that's not all encompassing. Not everyone is using drugs. The other myth that we see with Section 8 is that Section 8 housing is dirty and just dilapidated and we've got slum landlords, and that's not the case as well.